Elo, Ufoma, and Zina were three beautiful friends who lived together in the same apartment. They were very close and did everything together. One weekend, they decided to go to the cinema to see a movie, then went window shopping at the mall, and finally got some ice cream. As they were about to pay for the ice cream, the salesman told them that someone had already paid for it. They were surprised. Who paid? They chorused. The salesman pointed to a dark man sitting in the corner of the ice cream shop. He paid for your ice cream, the salesman said. Ufoma and Zina wanted to go and thank the man, but Elo was hesitant. Why did he pay for our ice cream? She asked. We didn't ask him to. After a little debate, they decided to go and thank the man anyway. As they approached the man, they saw that he was a young billionaire and he introduced himself as Dennis. He was smiling at them and seemed very friendly. Thank you so much for your kind gesture, Ufoma said, smiling. Dennis replied, It's nothing. You're welcome. Please, can we chat for some minutes? He smiled softly at them. Elo was not comfortable with the situation and quickly replied, No, sir. We have something urgent to do right now. But Dennis offered them 300,000 naira to stay and chat with him. Ufoma, who was already attracted to Dennis' wealth, quickly accepted the offer. Oh, no problem. We are free for a chat, she said, smiling. They all sat down opposite Dennis, who ordered them food and drinks. As they ate, Dennis told them about his problem. He said his wife had cheated on him and that he had also found out that the second son was not his after a DNA test. Zina, who was going through a breakup too, could relate to Dennis' situation and sympathize with him. Ufoma was also drawn to Dennis' story and felt sorry for him. But Elo was not convinced. She thought Dennis was too good to be true and that he must be up to something. She quickly tested her friends, saying that something about Dennis seems off and that they should leave. But Ufoma and Zina ignored her message. As the evening faded, Elo faked a phone call and excused herself. Ufoma and Zina already understood Elo stayed behind, enjoying Dennis' company. It was almost 7 p.m. when Zina stood up to leave. Dennis begged her to spend the night with him, saying he really liked her. Ufoma felt a bit jealous but smiled. Zina was hesitant at first, but Ufoma convinced her to stay. Dennis took Zina shopping, bought her the latest iPhone, a lot of designer's clothes, and gave her 1 million naira. He even dropped her off at her house without touching her. Zina was excited but also wondered if Dennis was up to something. How could he spend so much money on someone he had just met? Ufoma was very happy for Zina. You don't catch maga, Ufoma joked excitedly. But Elo was not happy. Zina, be very careful, Elo warned. Not all that glitters is gold. Zina replied that she would enjoy the moment and not worry about anything. But Elo's warning proved to be true. One night, as Zina slept, she had a bad dream. She saw herself in a dark forest being chased by faceless people. She woke up sweating but ignored the dream until one beautiful Saturday night, Dennis invited Zina to a private party. She didn't want to go but went. When she entered the room, Dennis' friends stared at her weirdly. She felt uncomfortable and sneaked out to call Elo. Elo, I feel so uncomfortable here, Zina said. I want to come home. Elo told her to trust her instincts and leave immediately, but she should be very careful as well. As Zina tried to leave, Dennis stopped her. You can't go home now, he said. I have spent so much money on you. His friends agreed, saying she shouldn't leave after all Dennis had done for her. Dennis took Zina to a small dark room. where he gave her a liquid substance to drink. She refused at first, but Dennis became cold and scary. She drank the substance and immediately fell asleep. When Zina woke up, she saw Dennis smiling wickedly at her, holding a red cloth with blood stain which he had used to clean her private parts. He told her to check her phone, where she found an alert of 10 million naira. She couldn't hold herself anymore. She kept crying repeatedly. Dennis dropped her off at her apartment, where she told her friends everything that had happened. But Ufoma didn't believe her, saying she was just blowing things out of proportion. Elle, however, was convinced that Dennis had used Zina for money rituals. After a few days, Zina's body started to change. She lost her job instantly without any reason, and her life started turning upside down. Her body started smelling badly, and maggots began coming out of her private parts. Elle and Ufoma felt so much pity for her. Elle suggested that they take Zina to see a spiritualist, which they did. The spiritualist confirmed that Zina had been used for money rituals and that she needed to stay with her for 7 days to reverse the spell. Zina stayed with the spiritualist, and after 7 days, the pains and suffering inflicted on her by Dennis were reversed. But the story didn't end there. A few weeks later, news broke out that Dennis had died in a plane crash. Ufoma and Zina were shocked and relieved at the same time. They realized that they had narrowly escaped a great danger. After the incident, Ufoma and Zina became more conscious and careful in their dealings with men. They learned to listen to their instincts and to be more discerning in their relationship. Elle, on the other hand, was grateful that her friends had learned their lessons. As they sat together in their apartment reflecting on their experience, Zina turned to her friends and said, "I am so grateful to you guys, and I'm so grateful to be alive. I learned a big lesson from this experience." Ufoma nodded in agreement. "Me too. I will never forget this experience." Elle smiled. "I am just glad that we are all safe and sound." As they continued to reflect on their experience, Elle said, "I've been thinking we should be careful about the company we keep. Not everyone who seems nice and friendly has good intentions." Ufoma and Zina nodded in agreement. Zina spoke up. "I am just grateful that I have you guys as friends. If I didn't have you, I don't know what would have happened to me." Ufoma smiled. "We will always be here for you, Zina. That's what friends are for." Elle nodded. "And we should also be careful about the things we desire. Sometimes, what we think we want may not be what's best for us." Ufoma and Zina nodded in agreement, reflecting on the lessons they had learned. As they sat in silence for a moment, Ufoma suddenly spoke up. "You know, I've been thinking, maybe we should stop this baddie lifestyle and focus on our jobs and also think of businesses to do and invest our money." Zina's eyes lit up. "That's a great idea, Ufoma. We could name our business the Three Wise Women Empire." Elle nodded enthusiastically. "I love it." With that, these three friends threw themselves into their works. In few months, they started a real estate company and their business blossomed from there. What lesson did you learn from this story? Let's hear you in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this story. Please like, share, and also subscribe to this channel. Turn on your bell notification so you get notified when an amazing story like this drops. See you in my next video.